911, where's your emergency? According to page 32 of the 2016 APCO Public Safety Telecommunicator 7th edition, that is what you will hear when you call 911 from the dispatcher. And I know that's not what a lot of people expect to hear, thanks to TV shows and movies. The expected line is 911, what is your emergency? But that's just not the case anymore. Today I'm going to effectively teach you how to call 911. I'm going to teach you what information that you need to have. I'm going to teach you how to deliver that information. And I am going to teach you when to end that call. I am credible to talk about this subject due to me being a 911 dispatcher for 3 years. Now that you have a general idea of what I'm going to teach you and why I'm credible to teach you, let's move into my main point number one. The information that you need to have on hand is the 4 W's. Where? Location is the number one priority. Where is this happening? If you know where you are, help can be on their way. So, where is the most important piece of information? And that is why when you call 911, it's where instead of what. The next piece of information is what. What is happening? Is something on fire? Is it a medic call? Are there weapons involved? That is all crucial piece of information. Next is the who is involved. Depending on the situation, you may need to give descriptive information. For instance, they were wearing a black jacket and blue jeans and they ran west or something of that nature. And then the next piece of information that you really need to have is the when. When did this happen? Is it actively happening? Or is this something that happened 3 hours ago? The next important part of calling 911 is how you deliver that information. For instance, I had a 911 call that came from a woman who just screamed. And thankfully, we had GPS and I was able to send an officer in the general area. But most dispatch places do not have GPS, at least that accurate of a GPS. So knowing where you are is important, but also how you deliver that. You need to be able to tell the dispatcher where you're at. So take a few deep breaths, in and out. And once you have that, try to keep it under control just long enough to get the information to the dispatcher. You also need to speak loudly. There might be interference, there could be background noise, and sometimes it's just really hard to hear in the dispatch center itself. So speaking loudly is also very crucial. And lastly, I would like to discuss with you when to end the call. And I know a lot of people just assume that once that they have given the information that the call is done, but that's not the case. Do not hang up the phone unless you were instructed or it is unsafe for you to do so. Sometimes, if the dispatcher does instruct you to hang up the phone, you can always request them to stay on the line so that it helps you feel more comfortable. But staying on the line, again, depending on the call, could be very important in relaying information as it happens. Instead of hanging up, something else happening, and you having to call back and then update another dispatcher to the situation and then move forward. So by staying on the phone, you're able to get that information to the dispatcher, who in turn dispatches it straight to the police officers. I'm going to play a little clip from when I was a 911 dispatcher, and I stayed on the line, and it was just a descriptive message for officers who was looking for a suspect. Being able to be on the phone and then get that information straight to the officer is important, especially for fast-paced things. A lot of things happen a lot faster than what you think. And then never assume that the phone call is done. Always wait either until you're instructed or if it's unsafe for you to stay on the phone. And then finally, I would like to conclude. You now know what information is going to be asked. Which brief recap, it is the 4 W's: where, what, when, and who. 5 if you count weapons. This is crucial information according to the APCO Public Safety Telecommunicator 7th edition. You now know how you need to deliver that information, and you now know when to end the call. According to the National Emergency Number Association website, nina.org, on the 911 statistics page, an estimated 240 million calls are made to 911 in the US every year. I hope that this information that I've given you helps you if you ever become part of the 240 million people that have to call 911. Thank you.